in automotive audio has become very popular in the past decade. Not only are installers asked to have mechanical and electrical skills, but a variety of unrelated skills as well. The installers that can perform woodworking tasks are in high demand. In our video, we will show you several time-saving tricks and techniques that we have learned and compiled over the years. The whole idea behind the training fits in with our production line high-end philosophy and teaching installers how to duplicate their work.
Let's first look at a few examples of some of the uses of woodworking during an automotive audio installation.
A subwoofer enclosure is just one of the many various uses for woodworking applications in an automobile. Here we have a mini truck box which fits behind the seat and delivers a full range of sounds. Note the horn tweeters mounted in the top of the enclosure to enhance high frequencies. Door panels are becoming more popular to house loudspeakers in the doors. With them, you can both match the integrity of the vehicle and even mount multiple speakers if so desired. We will also cover wood bending techniques in our training. Here is a finished example of what you can accomplish. Let's take a look at some various woods and go over a few examples of which woods are optimum for our applications. Here is an example of plywood. It has many fine uses in and around the house, but its fibrous, knotty finish make it an undesirable choice for our woodworking projects. Hardwoods also have their place, but cost is definitely a drawback when it comes to automotive applications, especially since our woodworking projects will be requiring something other than natural finish, so hardwoods aren't necessary. Here we have particle board. Many speaker enclosures are constructed with it for several good reasons. One is its density, which lends to good acoustic characteristics, and the cost is very affordable. Finally, we have medium density fiberboard, or MDF. MDF is quickly becoming one of the most popular choices amongst installers. It is highly compressed and has a paintable surface, which makes it a snap to get a high quality professional finish. Now let's look at a few of the supplies we will be using to accomplish our woodworking projects. Remember, using good quality tools and materials will make a difference in your finished products. Wood glue is the most important fastener we will use while woodworking, so it is important that you choose a good quality brand. Silicone will give us our airtight seal, which is vital when building speaker enclosures. Here is our cure-all for shaping and filling. Most of you may recognize it. Body filler is a great aid in turning your creative imagination into works of art. Clamps often lend that much needed second set of hands for many of our projects. We will demonstrate several uses during the video. This is a Surform. It helps us shape body filler before it is fully cured. Wood chisels are necessary to accomplish various tasks. Here is an ordinary compass. We will show you how to use it to shape the most stubborn contours. Shooter screws and brad nails are a must to ensure strength to all of our woodworking projects. Several different styles and sizes of wood bits and augers are used throughout our endeavors. Putty knives are very useful for mixing and applying body filler during the final stages of our work. You will find many uses for a carpenter's square. Mitering and squaring are two of its more popular uses. Fiberglass mat and polyester resins are a must during our wood bending stage. We go into much more detail about fiberglass techniques in our fiberglass video. Now that we've covered some of the materials and supplies for woodworking, let's get into my favorite area and talk a bit about power tools. I never skimp when it comes to getting tools because professional results come from using professional tools. This is a Bosch jigsaw. In my opinion, it is by far the best jigsaw made. You will use this tool virtually every day in the install bay and in many different applications. I use it to cut wood, plastic, metal, fiberglass, and more. Here we have a Porter cable router. We will demonstrate several uses of this tool throughout the video. The Bosch plunge router is a great tool for industrial-sized jobs, and when coupled with a flush trim bit, it's a must for the duplication of shapes and forms. A laminate trimmer comes in handy with Formica to give your work a professional finish. The finish sander makes quick work of body fillers, fiberglass, and wood finishes. The Makita belt sander gets rid of uneven surfaces to prepare for the finish sander. An air stapler or brad nailer expedite the time spent on assembly and is a very valuable tool. Here is our drill press and belt sander. We will demonstrate uses with both. Jigs make the life of an installer much easier. In order to duplicate your work both time and cost effectively, you must learn how to build and use jigs. The taper jig is very handy when cutting the uneven sides for mini truck boxes. This is a store-bought adjustable taper jig. Here we have a shop-built jig which is used for a specific vehicle. We will cover the construction of this jig during the video. This is the ever-popular circle jig. Of course, it is shop-made, but its flexibility is endless. The table saw is the most popular tool in my install bay. My saw has a very high-quality fence on it, which ensures very accurate cuts. As you can see, the view guide on the fence makes it virtually foolproof and easy to get a perfect cut every time. Under our saw is the blade height adjustment and the blade angle adjustment. The numbers here note the degree of pitch, and the handle on the side adjusts to those numbers. Now let me demonstrate some uses of the table saw as we begin our woodworking projects. But before we begin, remember it is always important to demonstrate good safety habits. Safety goggles and dust masks are very important and should be used whenever using power tools. Also, let me demonstrate how to use a push stick when your cuts bring you too close to the blade. Our first project during our woodworking training, we will learn how to build a mini truck box with a rounded top. During these procedures, we will also demonstrate how to use and build a taper jig, how to cut perfect circles with a router, how to bend wood, how to build a jig to duplicate your work in a fraction of its original time, how to use body fillers, how to use a rabbiting bit to countersink your loudspeakers, the use of the drill press and disc sander, and finally, assembly using a brad nailer. During our enclosure design video, we teach how to plan and draft the measurements of your work. Using a planned drawing of a mini truck box, let's begin by cutting the sides for our enclosure using an adjustable taper jig. Using a rectangular piece of wood, the proper height of your enclosure, and adjusting our taper jig to 14 degrees, which we have already predetermined to be the pitch of this particular enclosure, make one pass through the table saw, and just that quick we have one side of our enclosure. Now if this is a popular box, you're going to want to build a taper jig and keep it alongside with the dimensions hanging in your install bay. Here's how to make short work of a taper jig. First start with the side piece you've already cut. Next, take a square piece of wood and draw a line about 3 inches from the bottom. Put the hypotenuse end of your side against the fence with the small side